Hello, everybody. My name is Mr. C. Ferrante, and today I'll be taking a look at the Domed Desert. Survival difficulty, habitable, safe, sustained colonies, medium entity count. Description: the Domed Desert is an infinite rocky desert, part of the cluster of domed biome levels. The climate is very hot, and there is very little almond water or fresh water available. While the effects of thirst are lessened, much like the rest of the Backrooms, it still exists, and it can be dangerous if you find yourself lost. While the desert is infinite, it can and has been mapped, and there are many, many towns within it. Some existed when the level was discovered, but the majority were man-made, with lumber shipped in from the domed forest. Many inhabitants of this level entered the Backrooms from the Wild West era of the United States, including most of the faction known as the Ugly, and those who did not enter directly from that time period have largely embraced the culture. The level's geography consists of features consistent with a desert from Earth, including buttes, valleys, canyons, hills, and the occasional stream. An anomalous feature is the Almond Water River that runs in from the domed forest, culminating in the Almond Water Oasis, the oasis that the river dumps into. Several colonies have been built around this oasis, and it is a very valuable commodity. Perhaps the strangest naturally occurring aspects of the level are its train tracks. Countless segments of tracks that are fully functional, complete with stations, water towers, and cars. They will not run unless they are operated by an engineer, and they are operated on a regular schedule for transportation, trade, and anything of the sort. The domed desert, like the other domed levels, operates on a 24-hour day-night cycle, but not on a seasonal cycle. In the day, temperatures average more than 110 degrees Fahrenheit or 43 degrees Celsius, but they have been recorded as high as 134 degrees Fahrenheit or 56 degrees Celsius. At night, the temperature plummets to around 25 degrees Fahrenheit or -4 degrees Celsius. Wanderers who spend more than a month in the level have reported higher tolerance to such extreme temperatures, and the effect carries over to different levels. The liquid above the dome is assumed to be the same liquid in the other domed levels, though no experiments have been performed due to the dangerous results of the initial experiment in the domed forest. The domed desert shows some examples of the liquid being less than consistent, at least in appearance, and its coloring and light level often changes. However, the reason and cause behind this is unknown. Population: there are many, many colonies and towns within the domed desert, and only one faction, the Ugly. The Ugly is hardly a faction, but the UNCB classifies them as one for simplicity's sake. Before the Ugly took power, the domed desert was a much more dangerous level, as bandits and entities wreaked havoc on its citizens. But there is much more order now, which is saying something about its past, because there is still much chaos and disorder. Towns have been established now, but laws and an organized government have not. Bandits still roam the level and harass citizens, but they no longer risk attacking larger towns or important shipments. The citizens of the domed desert survive largely off of the cattle that were found naturally on the level, and they have created ranches to herd and breed them. Many entities similar to the ones found in the hot climates on Earth are found here, such as rattlesnakes, cows, hyenas, and vultures. Colonies and outposts. This list will not include smaller towns controlled by the Ugly, as there are far too many of them to count. UNCB Outpost, Tomb Hollow. The lone outpost established by the UNCB in the domed desert in accordance with wily Arizona George, leader of the Ugly's request. It is built around a train station for ease of transportation and trade, and is a regular stop for many trains. The population is approximately 50, with just one cattle ranch. The ranch is run by J. Nolan, but is owned by Raymond Mayer, an extremely wealthy citizen of the level who has a stake in many of the largest and most important cattle ranches. It is home to the Morning Star, a newspaper that reports on going-ons across the level. The Morning Star is owned by Cora Blair, who also acts as one of their best reporters. Scorpion's Stead, a town falling under the umbrella of the Ugly and one of the most dangerous places to be in the doomed desert. It is located on the outskirts of the Ugly's territory within the level, and is approximately an hour's horse ride away from the nearest outpost, meaning it is, in essence, lawless. The Bull's Horns is a saloon in the town and is a common stop for bandits. If you enter without either being a usual or knowing a usual, you are not welcome, and there is a high likelihood that you will be shot. There is no elected leader or sheriff, and the UNCB recommends that wanderers stay far away from this place. Break Reach, a town situated in a valley that is unofficially considered to be the capital of the Ugly's territory, as it is currently home to Arizona George and his now wife, Sarah George, and his closest circle of trusted friends, along with about 70 other citizens. George and his associates live in a large house higher up the valley, less than half a mile away from the town known as Myrtlewood. Offices of the Break Reach Daily, another newspaper, are here. It is owned by Raymond Mayer and is distributed across the level. Warren Hooper, sells horses out of break reach, and is widely accepted as the best horse breeder in the whole level. Wanderers come from across the cluster to purchase his horses, as they are durable enough to withstand the cold mountain air of the domed mountain and navigate through the dense forests of the domed forest. There is a train station atop the valley Breakreach is situated in, and is less than a 5-minute walk from the center of town, meaning citizens of it have ease of access to the trains. The UNCB is the only faction other than the Ugly to have a town in the domed desert, which is by specific request of George. He has an open door policy to all who wish to enter the level, but does not allow factions to set up towns, as he prefers to stay out of matters not directly concerning the domed deserts and its denizens. Entrances and exits. Entrances. Entering a specific apartment within level 11 and entering a closet within and closing the door behind you will cause you to be in an abandoned house in the domed desert. From the domed forest, if you follow the Almond Water River downstream for several miles, you will arrive in the domed desert. From level 80, walking away from the highway in any direction will lead you to the domed desert. This is a one-way entrance. Exits. Following the Almond Water River upstream for several miles, the exact distance varies on each attempt, but will lead you to the domed forest. There is a set of train tracks running perpendicular to the station at Breakreach, and if you either follow them or take a train down them, they will arrive at a modern train station. Simply being in this station will call the metro to you, so if you follow the tracks on foot, it is recommended that you get onto the station as quickly as possible, since the metro only utilizes the opposite set of tracks when a train occupies the first. There are several cave systems beneath the surface of the domed desert, all of which lead to level 8. This is a one-way entrance, but the domed desert extends about 20 feet into the cave, so if you enter the cave, there is still time to turn back. There is an old, abandoned house atop Maynard Hill, and if you enter any of the closets within and shut the door behind you, you will be taken to an apartment on level 11. This is a two-way entrance.